Hey guys, Matt here with Burns Power Tools. Today we have Mike back in store. He's one of our sales reps, and today he's actually going to be showing us the SawStop. Now these are amazing table saws because they're going to prevent you. Hopefully this never happens, right? Ever. But in the odd case, in the off chance it does, your finger gets near a blade, it actually drops away and it protects your finger, right?
Correct.
Can you tell us a little bit about SawStop and why it's a great thing to have in your shop?
Yes, I can. SawStop has been around for over 10 years now, and what it is it's a braking mechanism located underneath the saw blade that if your finger should contact the blade, anywhere on the blade while the saw is running, it actually instantly stops the blade and drops it below the table. Now all of this happens in 10 times faster than the airbags actually open in an automobile.
Really?
So yeah,
Wow.
so it's very fast, and it's actually even hard to see by the naked eye, which is why if any of you have ever seen this YouTube videos or anything on this, you'll notice they always show it in slow motion because it's just so hard to see. Yeah. And it's really simple technology. It's much like the technology on your cell phone where you can touch the screen, and it basically works on conductivity. So there's a small charge put on the saw blade, and because your body has the capacitance to absorb electricity, as soon as you touch that saw blade, the mechanism in the little brain here senses that something has touched the saw blade that's conductive, and it causes that braking mechanism to fire into the bottom of the blade.
Right, and then the blade just drops right out.
The blade just drops, and actually we have a sample blade right here if you want to grab that. This is actually what happens below the table. So you can see that brake mechanism actually jammed itself right into the bottom of the blade.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a release mechanism inside the trunnion here that you can't see, and that's what causes the blade to actually drop down out of the way. So it's basically a stop and drop type mechanism.
Without the roll.
Without the roll.
Without the roll. That's probably good. Cool. All right, so you're going to fire this up.
Yeah, we're going to fire it up and see if we can't cut a hot dog.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Okay, so we have our sacrificial hot dog here, fresh and ready to go. And what we're going to do is we're basically going to simulate an accident. I'm going to cut this board in this hot dog at a much more rapid speed than you're probably going to be cutting boards traditionally, but accidents don't happen in slow motion. So I really want to do kind of a real world scenario here on how this actually prevents an accident. So I'm quickly going to fire up the saw, and keep your eye on that saw blade and that hot dog because you won't believe your eyes.
All right, let's do it. $60.
If you can see that, there's barely a nick on that hot dog. You might need a Band-Aid. The power is now locked out, even though it's still on.
Right.
But of course, you're going to want to shut everything down. And when you look in here now, you're going to see that it's jammed in there pretty good. So I would remove my riving knife and grab some wrenches, the one for the other arbor.
Different size for the ICS.
There we go.
You don't have to lock the arbor, huh?
No, not with it
Pretty
stuck
much
in
locked.
there. Yeah. Alright, so this one's a little tougher to get in because it doesn't have the door. Like the bigger saws have the little door that opens up.
Yeah.
So it's a little easier to get your hand in there. Okay, and then you're going to want to see the red knob that's holding in the brake cartridge. Right there. You're going to want to lift that up.
It comes towards you, right?
Just wiggle it up. It just goes up and out.
Yeah.
So now everything is basically out of there. Now there's two ways you can get this off depending on how tight it's in there. A lot of times guys in the shop, what they'll do is they'll take a board and they'll just stick it right there and they'll just whack it. And they'll take the teeth out of the blade and then they'll take the two of them off. I kind of just shimmy it off of there. I use this like this. Yeah, and I just kind of use it to shimmy it off. And like I said, it's a pain because of the way they put that.
Right.
Say it's up against it.
Yeah, a new demo.
And you can see, like, if you look at a new cartridge, let me grab a new demo one actually right here. I got one right here. So, and when you're explaining it to somebody, that's why I like to always show them a new cartridge and a used cartridge. Okay, because you can see how it all crumbled in.
Oh, yeah.
So it kind of works like the impact zones on the hood of a car. You know how it kind of crumbles in?
Sure.
The impact resistance. That's how they've designed this. So they've got a bunch of holes in here so that it's easier for the blade to dig in. And then they've designed this so that it actually compresses on itself, and that helps absorb the impact.
Crumple zone.
Yep. And the way the brake actually works inside here, see this spring? It's a 150-pound spring. And this is all compressed inside here, and it's held together. There's just one little filament of electrical filament that holds this whole thing back. And when it senses that there's something conductive has hit the blade, it sends a surge of electricity into this brake cartridge, and it instantly fries that filament.
Right.
And that's what holds that back. So, and then that's what releases that into the
drives it
bottom
right
of the
into
blade.
the
Yep.
blade.
And then there's a release mechanism in all the trunnions on these saws, and it uses the centrifugal force of that blade being stopped so fast to actually release that mechanism in the trunnion. That's what causes the blade to actually drop below the table. So now to put a new one in, okay, we're going to put a new brake in. You want to wind it all the way to the bottom, okay? When you watch the trunnion inside here, when you wind it down to the bottom, you're gonna see it and you're gonna hear it snap in. It's basically compressing itself again.
It clicked back in.
Hear
Yeah.
it click right back in. That means that the trunnion has re-engaged itself. It basically is scissored like this. And when you lower it, it comes back together, snaps back in. Now when I raise it up, the whole thing is raising up together.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I usually kind of just grab it and make sure it's engaged before I put a new blade or brake in. And then when you put these in, okay, it's a little tricky your first time when you start putting these in. There's a small alignment hole, a big alignment hole, and then this hole is where the pin goes through. If you notice in there, the bottom one, the small alignment hole, sticks out further than the big alignment hole, which is directly underneath the handle here. They do that on purpose so that you're not trying to line the two of them up together at the same time. So always line up the bottom hole first. Right? Just stick it right in there, and then pop it into the other one. Alright, so yeah, just put that.
This is kind of a pain with the.
It is
the
a little,
shroud.
it's a little tiny, but that's why the dust collection works so well, you know.
Oh, because it's right there.
Yeah. So,
This is just like in the other one, right?
Yep.
Reverse thread or
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
righty tighty.
Yes, yeah. And then yeah, now you're gonna need the two wrenches. So the fork will go in here,
Yep.
and then the other side will go. Perfect. Yeah.
So that just drops in.
That just drops in. Yeah.
You have to put this in first.
Nope,
No, you
it goes
can't,
in,
right?
it goes in
Yeah.
last. Yeah. Yep, and you just push the lever down, just make sure it's lined up, push it down. Yep. And it's easier to see this over here, you can get, and once you put this down, that then hooks in. So when I'm putting the insert in, I usually just flip it up because it's easier. And one trick to remember is when you're putting this on, always keep the blade in the highest position. Because if you lower it, see these things right here?
Yeah.
They want to hit here,
Okay.
and then you can't get them on top again. It's a pain in the butt. So always keep it in the highest position, and then that is the toolless one. So that'll just slide in.
Yeah.
Make sure it's underneath the back edges here,
Right.
and then yeah. That's it. And then I would.
What would you do when you put it down? It locks down.
Yeah, see this little hook
Yeah,
right here?
yeah.
And there's a spot in there, so that's it. It just hooks on.
So look at, there's like barely a nick on this, right?
Yeah, it's very amazing. I mean, you can see. I mean, you might need a Band-Aid.
Just on that, a little Band-Aid, take care. But you could still eat this.
Yeah,
I mean,
you could still grill it up.
you could still grill it up. So guys, we have these here in stock as well as available online. If you want to see it in person, you can call us and schedule a time to come by and check out the demo for yourself. and we're here to answer all your questions. SawStop it's pretty amazing, and
It
it's
is.
helped everybody from local theater companies like Trinity Rep to various schools around town, yeah, no one wants to lose a finger.
No, absolutely not.
So thank you so much, Mike. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, thanks, guys.